What's up, my know-it-alls? Well, it's time for a brand new review. Happy Halloween, by the way. We're trying to keep it spooky this Halloween season, so what else are we going to review other than the, I don't want to say it's the much maligned Five Nights at Freddy's. And of course, who better to get to talk about horror with me than the queen of horror movie herself, Mrs. Know-It-All. After our fun we had with the Fall of the House of Usher, what? What happened? What'd I do?
Was I supposed to talk?
Not necessarily, no.
Oh, okay.
Why?
Because you're like...
No, I paused for applause from an audience that we can't see.
Oh.
Yeah, literally, I paused for everyone to be like...
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. This is all going to be in it, so you're not getting
No!
Yep. Oh, yeah. You think
That's not nice. Do you see what I do?
You think I do for him? Just do it to Baby Know-It-All? Come on. No,
all right, seriously.
No, we got so again, it dropped on Peacock. It's funny, I didn't feel motivated to go watch it in theaters by the trailers. I'm going to be very upfront and frank. But I did think that there was something worth checking out.
Absolutely, yeah.
So today we decided we're going to take a look at it, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Before we do all that, do me a big favor. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. It genuinely gives us a boost in the algorithm. Lets everybody know that you want to be part of the Know-It-All Nation. Engage with us. Let's talk. Comment below. We love to hear what you think about the movie. Do you think it's crazy that critics, right now, clearly the critics are all having an opinion, but also the audiences too. And believe me, the Know-It-Alls, we're not much different than when it comes to that. We love having opinions and talking about them. So, all that to say, let's get into this. So Five Nights at Freddy's is based on a video game of the same name, which I never played. Baby Know-It-All was familiar with it perfunctorily, but she also didn't play it.
But she knew about it, like, you know.
She did.
She was very familiar with it, but never played it.
This thing has been a long time coming. And by that I mean, I remember hearing about this back when John Campea was on Collider. Like seriously, like they were thinking about working on it or whatever else. I have spent all last night and most of today reading all of the negative reviews from a lot of reviewers, so much so, and here's the thing, when that starts to happen, I question it, hands down. Because my feeling is, I'm not a hoity-toity critic. Don't get me wrong, there are things to criticize. We will absolutely talk about them. But I do feel like I approach movies like you do. I approach movies as entertainment first. Yes, I'm a filmmaker myself. I've worked in the film and television industry. But the last thing I want to do is try to approach things like this as an auteur, like my nose is in the air, like I'm better than everybody else. I'm watching this literally the way you guys are. So, it dropped on Peacock today. We thought we'd give it a watch. Initial thoughts before we get into actual description, like what off the cuff, your face value, this would be your out of the theater fresh reaction. What did you think?
Not bad. Not bad. I was entertained.
Yeah,
I giggled.
Yeah.
Little jump scares, but you know, I was entertained.
No, for sure. If you're a hardcore horror aficionado, I think...
Do not, wait, don't expect.
No.
Don't expect like Exorcist type nonsense.
Gosh, no.
It's a PG-13 movie.
Yeah. I think the most we saw was at one point, when the first security guard gets it, you see a little bloody handprint on the window.
I can think of literally 3 instances that I would consider PG-13 gore. And if I can handle it, that's pretty good.
Someone online said that everyone who was involved in making the movie was like, this is a family film designed for kids and parents, and I realized what they meant by that. This is like an entry-level horror film for a young person. So if you are a mom and dad or whoever, and you love horror movies, but you don't want to sit here and scare little Tammy or Timmy, okay, right out the gate.
My poor brother.
Legitimately, sit them in front of this, see how they do, let this be their onboarding, and now you've got the makings of a young horror movie fan. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. So, I agree. That was the other thing. I tried watching this like when Baby Know-It-All was 12, 13. Yeah. You know, if she would find it scary, it would probably more creepy to her than, but especially, I tried watching it in that age level too, and still enjoyed it even at my age now.
There's a co-star to Josh Hutcherson. Her name is Elizabeth Lale, and to me, she's a new face. I haven't seen her in many things, and we couldn't tell in the very beginning, was she acting badly, or was she just, or were these choices that she was making? And now having seen the full thing, these were, I believe, they're creative choices, not bad acting.
Yeah.
What's the difference, Mr. Know-It-All?
Yeah, I agree.
I honestly believe that she was doing her best to convey a survivor's mentality. She feels guilty because she kind of likes the kid, meaning Josh Hutcherson character Mike. And at the same time,
the guilt.
Right. Yeah. And the sheer guilt. So the basic premise of the movie is a long time ago in the 80s, there was this place called Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, whatever the heck. It's essentially a glorified version, a ripoff version of Chuck E. Cheese. And I feel like the concept is that kids went missing. They shut the place down. They could never find or prove anything. So, but obviously with all the bad press, the place ultimately shut down, and that was it. So then you have now you jump into the future. Mike Schmidt plays this guy who's responsible for raising his sister. He is rather the survivor of his little brother was kidnapped when he was a child. He
saw it.
He witnessed the abduction, and it obviously hard on the parents. His mother passed away a little bit after that, and apparently dad's out of the picture, probably abandoned the family, whatever. So he's raising his baby sister all by himself. He's got this like mean step aunt played by Mary Stuart Masterson, she felt like a waste of somebody who I recognized, because I sort of felt like at one point I said, why isn't I said, oh, she's got to get it somehow, whether she follows them, because at one point like Mike takes his sister with him to work, and I kind of thought maybe she would follow. So from a storytelling standpoint, there's a better movie in here somewhere. But if you take it at face value, you're going to have fun.
Yeah, and we can talk more about that, about how just the story about Mike itself. Like you said, when there was the scene with him and Ashley.
Yeah, they're just sitting on this.
They're sitting there just, and it's like that as an adult draws you in, that parent side.
Yeah, they're sitting on the edge of like a canal type thing in a neighborhood, and they're having this heart-to-heart about the trauma he went through. And I looked over at Mrs. Know-It-All and I said, in another universe, if they took out the like trappings of Five Nights at Freddy's, this would be a really interesting Oscar-worthy dramatic role possibility for Josh. He's got good acting chops and he's doing his best. I kind of felt like he was a little one note in this, because even at the end when again spoilers, at the end when everything is being resolved or is in its resolving whatever, he's like still got that like weird shadow over him. Right. You know what I mean? You got the 5 o'clock shadow. He's disheveled. It's just, I don't know. But again, he's not acting badly. I just wish I had more range.
Yeah.
So he's because of his trauma, he gets fired from his mall cop job, and he goes to this guidance counselor, this career counselor, played by Matthew Lillard, who we all know from Scooby-Doo, as well as the Scream movies and whatnot. And Matthew Lillard, obviously getting up there in age, but the guy's, he's honestly, I liked him. He had more range than Josh Hutcherson had. I thought he was an interesting character because he's like, I do have this one job. I don't know if you want to do it. And so he's like, no, I'll do whatever. And so he changes because originally he wasn't going to do it. So I didn't do it. So then he goes and he being Mike goes to the place, and that's where he meets Ashley, the cop lady, who is that's the Freddy Fazbear's Pizza is on her route or whatever, her beat.
So she has herself, the police officers have to make sure everything's, and they're obviously aware that there will be somebody there.
Right. So the other little sidebar, there's a lot of things that they do in this. So Josh's character, Mike, he's taking sleeping pills because he's reading this book called Dream Theory. And he believes that, Dream Theory is the concept that, and by all means Google, look it up yourself, it's the concept that everything you ever are exposed to is up there. And so through dreams, if you can entice your mind to get to that place, you might be able to remember finer details and whatnot. Whether or not you believe in it doesn't matter. The point is that's the premise that they want you to believe. That's the suspension of belief they're asking us to do. And so while at work, he's sitting there and he's laying there. He's putting his headphones on because he's doing everything he can to go back to that time when his brother was kidnapped. He listens to nature sounds.
Stares at a poster of Nebraska's trees. Right.
So much so that he hangs it up at work because that's where he's going to be now at night. So he wants to be able to sleep while at work. Anyway, that's when all the weird stuff starts happening. The animatronic nightmares decide to start coming to life, and it's kind of terrifying at first until he brings his sister, and then there's this weird tone shift. It stops being sort of a suspenseful thriller type movie,
but more creepy.
Yeah. But it becomes they're building a fort. And apparently Ashley the cop knows about everything going on. And these are apparently these animatronics are possessed by the children, the spirits of the children that were killed at Freddy's. And by the way,
that's kind of creepy.
I can't believe you're spoiling it for us like that, Mr. Noah. Look, dude, like that, they literally spell it out for you.
Yeah.
Which, again, that's another downside, but that's for us who are older. You gotta understand, if this is an entry-level horror film for a younger audience, and I do believe Jason Blum is not stupid. I think he's very smart, and I think that's what he designed this to be. You want to explain some stuff.
Right.
A lot of jump scares, they're not advanced jump scares. They're just jump scares. And again, you got to remember, entry-level horror movie. If you can keep that in mind while watching this, it's a fun watch. Like, it really is. Don't go into it with big expectations. I think there were probably a lot of Easter eggs and whatnot. I didn't play the game, but as far as I know, there are there are Easter eggs. Like
it follows like the lore.
Yeah,
it follows
for sure.
the game lore that didn't Baby Know What Else say there was like 5 versions of it.
Yeah.
That this movie followed the lore, and that's what a lot of the fans loved about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't want to spoil the twist. There's a twist in the thing. Normally, I spoil everything. You're gonna have to watch this movie yourself to see the twist. I actually, funny enough, I was so committed to thinking I was going to predict how the movie was going to go. I got the twist wrong, and I didn't know who the end bad guy was going to. Did you know? You did. You did. That's right. She guessed. She goes, "I bet it's so and so," and all of a sudden it turned out to be so. And I was like, "Look at you! Way to go!" And so it was. I enjoyed it. I liked the little girl who plays his sister.
Yes. She's really like Piper Rubio.
Yeah,
is that her name? Yeah, Piper Rubio. She's I haven't seen her in anything, but I would like to see her in more stuff.
No, for sure.
Actually, everyone that's on there, I'm not familiar with, except for Mary Stuart Masterson.
Well, and Matthew Lillard.
Yeah,
right.
But the other 3,
Josh Hutcherson was in Hunger Games. He played PETA.
Oh my gosh!
I know, it's been a while. He was also
wow.
He was also in a little known but really did well time travel sci-fi thing on Amazon Prime that I never got to check out. I probably should at some point because I actually heard it. It went for like 2 or 3 seasons. And
until I met you, you filled this know-it-all knowledge. I always knew faces of actors and actresses. Never knew who they were. Like, who's this guy? It's the same guy that. Oh, sorry.
No. She'll literally in the movie be like, I know him from somewhere. I'm like, this thing. She's like, oh my gosh. Anyway. But yeah, so then they want him. The first time he falls asleep in this place, he has the same dream we've already seen him have before. So they've established the dreams he's having, and it's the same dream every night. This time,
with an addition,
right? Wow. There's a handful of children who aren't normally there, and he's like, "What's going on? What is this?" This is the first time he introduced the concept that these are going to be the ghosts and whatnot. So come to find out, they apparently know how to give him the thing he wants, which is, you find out psychologically speaking, he wants to live in a place where his brother was abducted, and they kind of tease him with that, but they really can't do it. Yeah. And he's like, and at one point he makes the mistake of saying, "I'll give you anything," and they're like, "Okay, we want Abby. Abby's his sister." And so now it becomes a whole, and that wakes him up. At first, he's willing to go with it, and then he realizes, oh, no, this isn't right.
And that's because Vanessa finally comes clean with everything about that they are the spirits of the kids that were kidnapped. So he's like, oh my gosh, they want Abby. Yeah.
It's so funny. I'm so used to protagonists having a level of ignorance in these situations, and they don't do that. Funny enough, as much as I'm joking about this being an entry-level horror movie, they actually write Josh Hutcherson character Mike Schmidt really well in that he's coming to the conclusions I feel like a normal person would do. The first time he sees Ashley, he's like, "So, ghosts of the kids haunting the animatronics, huh?"
Ghost children possessing giant robots.
And at first, my initial reaction was, "How would he not?" And I'm like, "How wouldn't he? Duh!" Like any
it's just
idiots.
Like it comes to the point where things are so ridiculous that. Why wouldn't it be? Like, just why wouldn't it be?
But to me, I started realizing. So the more I thought about it, I was like, that actually kind of makes sense. At the end of the day, how many times have we watched horror movies and we'd be like, if in this scenario, I would totally get X, Y, and Z from what's going on. Okay. So anyway,
It's not gory. I think I don't remember, and it's not important to call out, but there was a couple of reviews that said it was a little too gory for a PG-13.
Which I think is silly. Again, 3 instances of blood I can think of.
And then it was the handprint.
The handprint, a little bit left on the windowsill from inside the thing. And then later on, you do see a body of a guy, and his face is all kind of mangled.
Oh, I forgot. So there's 4.
But it's like...
it's not bad at all. It's not like I can tolerate it. I think there's a couple of scenes that got me a little more with my horror movie issues. Sure. But I was very entertained. I would, if Baby Know-It-All was still a wee, I'd take her to see it.
Right on.
If that was her thing. I totally would.
No, same. So I enjoyed it. So there you go. Now you know. And if knowing's half the battle, you're halfway being a know-it-all yourself. What is the know-it-all index for Five Nights at Freddy's? You want to go first?
Nope, because I forgot.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, we always talk about it, totally. So I have to think for a second. So I'm going to let you go.
It isn't okay. Listen, guys. If I approach it as a film person, then the movie's like a 5 or 6. But I'm not going to approach it like a film person, okay? I'm approaching it as someone who realizes what this was, who understood the concepts of what they were trying to do, and frankly, I was entertained. And to me, that's the ultimate. So I'm going to give this a 7.5.
Bye.
I think it's a well-deserved 7.5. I enjoyed it. I had a good time. Funny enough, I'll probably watch it again before Halloween's out. Just saying. It was fun enough.
Because Baby Know-It-All's going to want to watch it.
She
was on her way out the door with the boyfriend.
Yeah. So I'm going to watch it. Dude, take a look. If you're near a theater that has it and you got some time to spare, go watch it. It's not a super long movie. It actually didn't feel like it took that long. And then, or if you happen to have a Peacock subscription, watch it there. Whichever way works for you. Either way, we had a really fun time with it.
So I'm going to give it an 8.
Are you okay?
I like it in here.
As a mom that would take her to the movies, this would, we saw Ramona together. So this would be like one of those things I would take her to. I would spend the money on the tickets and the popcorn, and I had a good time.
Popcorn. We should have made popcorn. We gotta watch it again to make popcorn.
I was like, what are we gonna watch and come back to tonight then?
No, totally, for real. All right, guys, listen, tell me what you thought. Comment below. I would absolutely love to hear your thoughts on it. But that's gonna do it for us. Never forget.
Everyone loves to know it all.
Bye.
Bye.